and it is time. Let's get this party going. We're gonna 60 minutes of awesome gameplay here, and we are ready to get underway.
That's right, Mistress Mouth. This is a tune-up for the upcoming WFTDA playoffs that technically start next weekend.
Indeed they do. Into the playoffs next week, and it just gets better from here, doesn't it?
That is Wilhelm lined up to jam for Denver, opposite Lauren Much for Rose City. Lauren Much quickly off the line. Lead jammer goes to the Wheels of Justice.
Wilhelm took that helmet off to get around the outside of the pack. She's through now. Here comes Lauren Much. Wide open lane on the outside, picking up points. Knocked out of bounds and calls off the jam.
Nice exit hit by Tracy Akers at the front of the pack, but the Wheels of...
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. The King and Layla Smackdown here. You just saw jam number one. Lauren Much picked up 4 quick points for the Wheels of Justice. I'm the King. I'm being joined right here with Layla Smackdown. And ladies and gentlemen, this game is on. Scald Eagle makes her way around. Lickety Split, she is your lead jammer. Klein does take the star off, and she finally finds a hole to make her way through that pack. Scald Eagle engages the back of that wall, trying to beat her way through that white wall. Calls it off wisely, doesn't pick up any points for her effort. And right now, we're going to be sitting with 28 minutes, 50 seconds left. 4 minutes on the board for the Wheels of Justice, nothing for Denver.
If you are watching at home, you're like leaking some noise about the game just as we are. That's Talk 2, WFTDA number 2.
You're going to see down there on the line, that's going to be Liquor and Split, and that's going to be Guypen. Guypen hits that purple wall, but Akers comes running in there and plays some instant offense. Liquor and Split, one player left to beat. She goes high on the apex, and she's your lead jammer.
Move that jammer hat, recycled all the way back to the back of that jammer line.
Well, Liquor and Split runs up that outside line, gets taken out of bounds by number 4, and that's Davidson, and they're going to take her way back.
Deja vu all over again as Guypen hits the back of the pack once more.
Tarantula takes her out on that inside line, and now they've got her stuck back behind that jammer line. The bridge is being set. Up front, Liquor and Split is right now trying to bang against that white wall. Akers has got a hold of her, and she is going nowhere real fast. In the back, you're going to see Guypen still trying to struggle with that purple wall. And Liquor and Split still up front, trying to get through. That's going to be number 4. Davidson, again, is now going to the penalty box. Liquor and Split's got 2 players left to beat. Out of play is called. She picks up a that's just 4 points.
Guypen trying a little flip it in reverse to get through that front of the pack at the pivot line.
Offense looked like it was going to come, but they kind of paused out. Now Liquor and Split is back in that pack, and they are stuck playing defense. Braun Swanson tried to play a little bit of offense there, but she was stuck playing the bridge. She is now the last line of defense as Guypen makes her way through and picks up 4 points.
Purple defense turning their attention to the approaching jammer, and we have this jam come to a stop. 7 points put up by Liquor and Split in that last jam. We are so grateful for the loving support of Tonkin.com. The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com. We're also grateful for Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. PBR Penalty Box sponsors us. Bad girls, good beer.
Looks like they're going to talk about yes, there was a penalty call that is going to put Guypen in the penalty box, and it's going to start with a power jam. Frisky Biscuits on the line is going to be the benefit of that power jam. Scott Paul out on the line right now, going to be talking to the team right along with Topher Griffin. They're going to make sure that everybody knows what play they're going to start this game with.
Speaking of starts this game is a great kickoff to what's about to be the fantastical International 2016 International WFTDA Playoffs and Championships bouts approaching. We're hopefully potentially going to see yet another matchup of these fearsome warriors in South Carolina, just a short month away. And that is Frisky Biscuits wearing the star Power Jam Wheels of Justice.
And here comes that power, Sasha. Frisky Biscuit takes that inside line. She is now your lead jammer and out.
All right, we have a real breaking up of that white wall of Denver. A little bit of a goading situation as well as Frisky is back.
Frisky Biscuits takes that inside line, but now they've got her. That's Davidson once again, and she continues to pound. 2 blockers, doing a nice job keeping her tucked in there, and now they've got her pinned like a reverse Oreo cookie. She finally makes her way out and picks up a grand slam, 5 points.
Really great calm communication coming from the Wheels of Justice blockers, trusting their jammer that they knew that jammer could go it alone.
Frisky Biscuits, it comes back in, engages that pack. Players are starting to hit the ground in turn number 2. She picks herself up, though, and keeps right on going. Guypen has served her time and has gotten escorted out by Jess Rivas. They're still trying to fight her way through. That is number 28. Barrett coming up to play a little bit of offense, and it looks like it worked as Guypen is out of the pack.
Guypen did really have a pretty much unopposed outside line path to take on that initial pass, however, calling off that jam. And we have a really great opportunity for all of you watching at home, and it is a limited time opportunity as well. If you love watching from the convenience of your own sofa, if you are not in a position to travel to any of the playoffs or championships, we invite you to take advantage of this awesome bundle package. You're going to want to go to WFTDA.com and /tournaments for more information on this bundle deal. 10% off a combo pass. Meanwhile, we're getting back to the action. Much Mayhem wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice, out as lead jammer.
And that was a quick pickup of a penalty back block being called on Braun Swanson. Lauren Much back in play once again. Oh, she just lands on her tail, but is going to continue to try and fight her way through. Tarantula also getting picked up on a penalty, so that's 2 blockers down for the Wheels of Justice.
Really incredible defense coming from Sarah Gaither and Alicia Nisbet-Smith, turning their attention, focusing on ruining Akers' life, but tiptoes around that inside on the apex.
4 points being picked up by Akers, and that's another blocker. That was Alicia Nesbitt-Smith picking up another penalty. Lauren Much going to go ahead and call it off. She's got 2 blockers standing in the penalty box, but that's only going to leave 1 blocker on the track for this next jam.
Back to that fantastic package I was talking about. You will get all the games involved with the Division 1 and 2 playoffs, as well as the championship weekend being hosted by the hometown Rose City Rollers. All of that for the low price of $67.50. Check out more details. And we are going back to the action on the track. Scald Eagle wearing the star for Wheels of Justice, and AP Leisure wearing the star for the first time tonight for the Mile High Club.
Scald Eagle only had to get past the jammer, and she was on that inside line. She is your lead jammer. AP Leisure, though, out and in hot pursuit.
Once again, we are seeing a lot of purple blockers finding their way to the Pabst Blue Ribbon penalty box.
And she did get taken out of bounds, quickly calls off that play. Rock is going to step out there, have a little discussion. No points scored by either team. Right now, Wheels of Justice at 25, Denver at 8 with 23 minutes left in this game.
Special thanks to OHSU Sports Medicine, proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers. We're also super grateful to Porque No, amazing tacos with 2 locations on Mississippi and Hawthorne Avenues.
This jam is on. Wilhelm, she's got 2 blockers out there. She engages Quigley, and she's getting taken out very aggressively on the inside line. Akers does come up, plays a little bit of offense, but they still are doing a fine job trying to take her down. There's a pile up in the apex, and Liquor and Split is being called on a penalty, and that is going to give up a power jam that will benefit Denver.
That was a forearm penalty that sent Liquor and Split to the penalty box. We have Wilhelm in a power jam situation. About to have a full lineup of Wheels of Justice blockers back on the track with Chestnut's return.
And here comes a little bit of offense. Davison comes up and taps it really good. And here comes the waterfall. But excellent recycle as Wheels of Justice continue to get those purple shirts right back up front. Akers right now waiting to play some offense. Chestnut's trying to hold that inside line. Excellent work by Rivas, as expected. She does hold that inside line, and Quigley is holding down the bridge. Liquor and Split has served her time. She's back in this game, and now Ariel Quigley is trying to open up something. She's got one player left to beat, but it was just enough to get everybody back in this game. In the back, Wilhelm is now still trying to contend with those purple shirts as they take her out of bounds in turn number 1.
Liquor took a hammering to work her way around turn number 1 to 2, but did eventually go it alone, but that was 5 points put up in that last pass by the Mile High Club. Approaching the line, we have Frisky Biscuits wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice, facing off against none other than number 33, Klein, for the Mile High Club.
Both teams out there are in, have all 4 of their blockers on the track, and both jammers. So we are going to start both this jam at full power. Frisky Biscuits engaging the back of that wall. It is a 3-wall trying to contain her in the back. Klein still struggling with the wall of purple. Offense coming in the way of Braun Swanson, but it was not effective in getting Frisky Biscuits out. It was the penalties. Frisky Biscuits is out as Lee's jammer.
Yes, indeed. We did see blocker Barrett go to the penalty box for a multiplayer block. Good opportunity for the Wheels of Justice to put up some more points on this pass.
Klein tiptoed right up that outside line, but the inside line was wide open, and that makes an easy 4 points for Frisky Biscuits.
We do have both jammers approaching the back of the pack. Frisky Biscuits checking in with the coach to see what we want to do.
Wow, what a fantastic play, and she leaves number 398 Goings on the deck as she passes her.
That was a very daring little hop, skip, and jump by Klein. Just cleared that inside apex and a foot to get out for another 4 points.
It was almost another one, and she does get past Barrett. Now is picking up the out of play. There's a player down. It looks like, nope, it is Klein. She did get right back up. Looks like she just got her noggin rocked. Both blockers right now are in the pack. It's a 2-on-2 war in the blocker game. Here comes the offense and easily strips it off.
11 minutes in, and we're seeing penalties having a major impact on the floor so far. Very slender packs at this rate.
Yeah, Goings was the only blocker out there for Denver, but Wheels of Justice only had Nesbitt Smith and Braun Swanson. So, yeah, they are bleeding off blockers left and right.
It's hard to use the word only in the same sentence with Nesbitt Smith and Braun Swanson, though. Let's really, call it like it is. And while we're calling it like it is, we would like to thank Bike Punk. Bike Punk, locally printed, eco-friendly stickers, signs, and design. Visit bikepunk.com. We're also super grateful for New Belgium Brewing Company, Fat Tire Ale, or Ranger IPA. Grab one from concessions. If you are watching this at home and you are thirsty to grab one from concessions, we certainly hope to get to see you come November 4th when Portland, Oregon will be playing host to the 2016 International WFTDA Championships. This is the first time Rose City has had the opportunity to host, and I think it's about 8 years. There is a lot riding on it this year, as the Wheels of Justice are going to do all that they can to hold on to that Hydra, because once you get a taste of it, you do not want to let go, and I cannot blame them. So we certainly hope to see you there. For more information, you're going to want to visit WFTDA.com/champs.
Well, it's right now 2-on-2 in the blocker war. You're going to see Akers and S.H. Long out on the track up against Rivas and Chestnuts. Much mayhem is down there, and I do believe that is Guypen along with her.
That is indeed.
Guypen comes in very hot. She is the lead jammer out. She made an easy track along the outside.
Lauren Much just managing to duck under that last line of defense and has Guypen set in her laser scope.
She does a fantastic jump over that little apex in turn number 2. Not a jump you normally see very often, but it's going to pick her up 4 easy points.
That was like a gazelle leaping. I mean, it would take me 2 jumps on a pogo stick to even recreate anywhere near the distance of that graceful creature. Well played. Speaking of graceful creatures, we have 2 more facing off on the jammer line. We have none other than Scald Eagle, wearing the star once again for Wheels of Justice, facing off against Curtis for the Mile High Club.
Curtis comes in very strong, engages that wall of purple. Scald Eagle already out front. Akers is still on her, but she's already the lead jammer.
Very, very effective pirouette around the backside of Akers for Scald Eagle to emerge triumphant on that pass.
Purple shirts right now. Alicia Nesbitt Smith is in the back, and she has got a beat on the jammer for Denver. Scald Eagle does make it through and picks up 5 easy points.
All blockers in purple taking their turn with Curtis. but it is a pass to Akers.
Scald Eagle makes it look easy, goes through, leaning back, lazily picking up 4 points. Akers has made her way around and has engaged that pack, fights her way through, and picks up 4 points of her own.
You know, I was about to say that wall of purple looked really superbly reinforced by Tarantula, but Akers, a one-person wrecking crew right through that middle.
Well, I think she was going to try and jump the apex there, but ended up just jumping out of bounds. Scald Eagle is now up. She split the difference. She's got blockers getting pushed out. She's already picked up some points. She has now moved around the outside and back to the end. Her lateral movement, ladies and gentlemen, is none other that I've ever seen, and she makes it look easy. 5 points.
Very patient and aware blocking by Braun Swanson and Davidson, bridging and then turning their attention back as soon as they were allowed to without destroying the pack.
Beautiful turns as she continues to get through and picks up another 5 points. Akers now backs up. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to block you. Akers now trying to engage the back of that wall. Scald Eagle runs through the front like they aren't even there. Picks up another 5-point grand slam. She is at 28 points right now.
Akers is digging down deep, trying to move that wall, hoping for a little bit of offense from her fellow blockers, but Scald Eagle is so fast, they really had to turn their attention back to defense. Long jam that round. Very effective, big pointed jam put up by Scald Eagle.
That was 29 points. We got a score right now of 75-32.
All right, special thanks to Two Town Cider. Damn fine cider made here in the Pacific Northwest. If that ain't enough for you, how about some Kind bars? Kind, a brand of all-natural whole nut and fruit bars made from ingredients you can see and pronounce. Back to the action. We have AP Leisure at the line for Denver, facing off against Liquor and Split for the Wheels of Justice.
Liquor and Split right now trying to push everything up front. Hannah Jennings tried to come up and open something. Everybody hit the ground, but Liquor and Split comes up as lead jammer.
We have Leisure unable to get past that pivot line, delivered to the inside by none other than Jennings.
And Liquor and Split runs it along the outside, picks up another 5 points.
Still trapped behind that pivot line. Great wall of purple reinforced by Jennings. Now switching the attention to play some for Liquor. Amazing awareness by that Blacker, and right back to the defense.
And that was fantastic. You know, she jumped right up in there and opened everything up at perfectly timed about 2 or 3 seconds before she got there. Liquor and Split now coming back up, and here comes that offense once again from Hannah Jennings. Liquor and Split splits the difference, and she runs right on through, but a forearm is called. That's going to give a power jam up for Denver's benefit.
This is going to be an opportunity for Mile High Club to kind of take a deep breath, see what kind of damage control can be done in this power jam.
AP Leisure now on the track. She's got the star off. It's in her hand, but she finally makes her way out of the pack. She dang there went 3/4 of the way around. AP Leisure now comes back around with the star finally on. She hits the back of that wall. The offense is being played. Bodies are going everywhere, but still AP Leisure is stuck in that pack. There's a wall right now of Jess Rivas and Quigley. They are moving her from left to right and back again. Looks like there might be a direction of play, and it could have been pretty much anybody on the track as 5 points picked up by AP Leisure.
When you're at such a slow pace, you kind of start to get a little bit disoriented, especially in the thick mugginess of the air tonight. You can see why they'd get a little bit turned around. Wow, little bit of a love tap from Chestnuts was all that was needed to drop Leisure right in the tracks. All the action happening between turns 2 and 3 as Liquor and Split is back on the track. That was 4 quick points put up by Liquor and Split. I think that Liquor emerged from the box so quickly that people just didn't see her coming enough to build any kind of reinforced walls.
Yeah, she basically kind of surprised them like that. But there was 14 points picked up by Liquor, 8 points being picked up by Denver.
All right, that's how it goes. These chisel away a little at a time. Next up at the line, trying to do some chiseling, we're going to have Frisky Biscuits wearing the star for Wheels of Justice, facing off against Wilhelm for the Mile High Club.
Well, there's only 2 blockers out there. Wilhelm just doing the fancy feet out there. And so far, the Wheels of Justice blockers doing a great job shutting her down. In the back, Frisky Biscuits getting shut down on her own. Fantastic walls been put up by Denver, and they always seem to do it. Wilhelm out first as lead jammer.
Jess Rivas sprung from the penalty box blocks just in time to try and open up a little bit of a hole on that inside, but now quickly turning attention back to defense.
That was a great move by Wilhelm. She just put on the brakes as she was hit, comes to a stop, and continues to go with a grand slam, 5 points.
Kind of jiu-jitsu style. It's like when you halt your own energy speed and steal the momentum of your opponent using it against them. I like it.
Wilhelm back in that pack, and she is pounding away up against the front of Jessica Chestnuts. Ends up on the deck. This jam comes to an end, but she picks up 3 points. That is a great jam right there for Denver. They need that kind of momentum, and they need to put a few more of them like that together.
That's exactly it. I mean, that last jam was a real kind of shift of momentum. We'll see if that can be maintained. And while we're at it, we'd like to say thank you to Radio Cab, the other way to roll. Call a cab today. Thanks, Radio Cab, and Franz Bakery. Franz has been proudly baking in Portland since 1906.
On the line, that's Much Mayhem going up against Guypen. Guypen comes up with Barrett. She's gonna try and bust open that wall. Nice recycle work by the Wheels of Justice to hold Guypen in. Envy Adams is up front. Last line of defense. Guypen powers her way through in his lead jammer.
Purple really quickly turning their attention over to defense, but that is right before Lauren Much picked up a track cut penalty. This is a power jam for Guypen.
And this is the kind of opportunity they're looking for. Guypen comes up right now. She gets hit. In comes the offense, and that's going to be Watson Saribo. But unfortunately, Guypen could not capitalize on it. But they got everybody spread apart. Last line of defense is going to be Jess Rivas. Watson Saribo is up against her, and there was nothing she could do.
You know, that was a really strategic hit by Watson Saribo. While it might not have been like the immediate pick to cause advantage, it did dramatically slow down the speed that the Wheels of Justice had tried to set.
Well, the Wheels of Justice right now are definitely set. Watson Saribo comes in once again, opening up the whole. Guypen using her toe stops. Oh, and she did pick up that track cut. That's too bad because she was doing great out there.
That was very nerve-wracking. Lauren Much did a great job despite taking down Jennings in the process. Rotated back as to not get that same track cut penalty once again. This is going to be a great opportunity for the Wheels to make up a little bit of that lost jam.
Lauren Much getting really low on turn number 2, picks up 5 points of her own, and that was a beautiful move by her to kind of fake everybody out. She tries to get that fake out this time and ends up taking one to the face and is on the deck. In the back, Barrett now is getting knocked around. She was the GOAT. She's unable to get anywhere. Lauren Much now up against 2. Watson Saribo took her out of bounds. She stopped and jumped right back in and picks up 5 points.
Great job by Envy Adams out there neutralizing one of the bigger threats on the Mile High Club, not only by pulling her into a goading situation, that would be Barrett, but by separating her from her fellow blockers.
Now Lauren Much just came in, picked up another 4 points. Jess Rivas opened up a hole. They all kind of looked to the inside because they thought that's where it was going to go, and she snuck around the outside.
What a faker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
They were surprised.
Ooh,
what?
The element of surprise. Well, getting back to it, we're going to have Scald Eagle wearing the star for Wheels of Justice, facing off once again against Curtis for the Mile High Club. We have a score of Wheels of Justice 103 to Denver's Mile High Club 56 with about 10 minutes left of gameplay in this half.
Scald Eagle comes up the inside line. Braun Swanson picking people off. 1 player left to beat, and Scald Eagle is your lead jammer.
All right, we have Curtis still trapped just a few feet away from that initial jamming line.
Curtis tries to go on that inside line, gets taken out of bounds. Scald Eagle comes up. She's got 1 player left to beat. Ends up getting sat on in turn number 1, and it does make it through, picking up all 5 points.
Checking in. Wow. Walls of blockers. Tarantula, Nisbet Smith, and Gaither just annihilating Curtis.
Curtis finally got some benefit of the offense. While everybody was trying to reset, Scald Eagle does make it back through and picks up 4 more points.
Just crept right on through. Curtis ducking low, trying to work around.
Oh, and we got a little jump right at the top of that apex. That is Scald Eagle taking flight, picking up 5 points. Didn't even look back.
Just a little one. Garten really needs to lean up against the wall of that inside line, just leaving an inch. Scald Eagle will take that mile.
Scald Eagle picks up another 4 points, and so does Curtis. Right now, they've got a split. They've split the pack for Denver to get them separated. Scald Eagle, just as they got back together, Scald Eagle came in, busted them all apart again, and picks up another grand slam, 5 points.
Great offense coming from S.H. Long, trying to both demolish the reinforced wall as well as play offense and defense.
Scald Eagle now comes back around. She comes to a stop and she's like, hey, what's going on here? In the back, Curtis now still trying to fight through that purple wall. As soon as she gets low, they all get low. It's like they're miming each other. In the front, Scald Eagle is still trying to fight her way through, gets taken out of bounds on the outside line. She is tired, and she should be. She just picked up 26 points on that jam. Denver picked up 7.
Very noble attempts at offense coming from Tarantula, really just kind of hand grenading into that slow mess of Mile High Club blockers that were jamming things up for Scald Eagle. But with that little bit of speed, it's just going to get exhausting. Scald was really smart to call that off. We're going to see if the next jammers are going to show that same expertise on the line. Liquor and Split wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice up against Wilhelm for the Mile High Club.
Wilhelm right now crashing into her own wall, finally managed to squeeze through that, and she is now being met by the purple wall. Slicker and Split took everybody to the inside, found the opening on the out, and she is out as lead jammer.
And cooking with grease on those straightaways. My goodness, Wilhelm is hot on the heels, though. Both teams ready to brace.
Slicker and Split comes in and picks up 1 quick point, calls off that jam, takes them to 130 points to Denver 63, 7.5 minutes left in this game. Layla, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I am having such a good time, that it's such a privilege to be here with you and everybody else in this building tonight. We could not do it without the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. That is the WFTDA. I am grateful for all that they do and continue to do. If you want to follow on social media, it is at WFTDA on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook.com/WFTDA. Getting back to it, we have Klein shooting up the outside for lead jammer up against Frisky Biscuits.
Frisky Biscuits right now stuck in turn number 1. Here comes the offense from her team, but she cannot capitalize on it, and all of those white blockers get back up in front. Klein comes back in, engages that purple wall, bodies all over the place as she's still trying to fight her way through. Finally, Frisky Biscuits up front does manage to find a hole and get out. Here comes the offense from Denver. They're still trying to fight, but they have to call it off. I do think she picked up 3 out of there, and that is what they are holding up as this jam comes to an end. So Denver getting on the scoreboard without any points being scored by Wheels of Justice.
Hard fought 3 points, I might add. Special thanks to Voodoo Donut. The magic is in the hole, proud sponsor of the Roasty Rollers and the Wheels of Justice. And I'm going to go out on a limb and venture to say also sponsors of the Mile High Club.
Yes, they are.
Delicious.
Double sponsor. Look at that.
Doing the bodies good. We are at the line with Lauren Much wearing the star for Wheels of Justice up against Geipin for the Mile High Club.
Oh, she took a toe stop on that outside. Lauren Much still inbounds, but she's still got a lot of blockers to contend with. Hannah Jennings comes in and plays some genius offense, but then drops back and picks up Geipin as a penalty was called on Quigley. Geipin does make it through that inside line, and they are lead jammer once again.
Great opportunity for Geipin to put up some points, as there is almost a full track in advance of Lauren Much finally emerging on the initial pass.
Yeah, she had a great play on that outside to do a little spin. Here comes Barrett trying to knock some bodies out and around. Geipin, though, in on the fourth corner there on the deck. It looks like Jessica Chestus wanted to give her some pity and fell down also. 1 point, though, picked up by the Wheels of Justice, and 2 points being picked up by Denver.
I just want to acknowledge some really amazing awareness I'm seeing from the Wheels of Justice blockers out there. Not only is it just a question of effective defense, but it's having the awareness of when impending blockers are trying to scramble it up. They are warding off the offense, protecting their walls, and it's really impressive to see. Scald Eagle wearing the star for Wheels of Justice up against Curtis.
That was some brilliant skating right there. She skated backwards and sideways, and she's your lead jammer. She took it all on the outside. Off comes the cap. Curtis is trying to look for a pass. Beautiful pass right across the top, and Davidson has got it, and she is away.
Dare I say, textbook star pass. The pivot was well out of harm's way. Damage had been done. Pass it off. Let her do the damage. Let her do the work.
Scald Eagle comes in, taking a whip off the back of the jersey of Quigley. She gets taken out in the apex. A lot of bodies out there, out of bounds. One foots it on the turn number 2 inside line, picks up 4 points and made it look easy, but it's incredibly hard.
By the skin of her toe stops, that was. Oh, in case you missed it that first time, let's just do it again.
Yeah. Yep. Don't take your eyes off Scald Eagle, because she will continue to jump and amaze.
Just a blur of purple as both jammers are back
And both jammers, let me see, Scald Eagle is up front, and number 4 has been taken all the way back. Scald Eagle does run through, picks up another 4 points. So far, she's got 17 in the game. Jammer 4, Denver, is taking on the inside line, is going to have to go back and start again behind that wall of purple that is so menacing to her.
Davidson doing a great job of showing real perseverance, finally finding a hole on that inside. It is a no pass, no penalty.
Oh, she picked up 3 points on that pass. Scald Eagle now coming in very, very hot. She's got two players from Denver to beat. Akers, though, escorts her out of bounds and says, go ahead, you're going to call that off now. And, Davidson tried to jump that apex. They're putting 0 points up. I don't think the coach likes it. I'm not even sure I like it, but I'm going to always side with the officials because I'm a nice guy.
Of course, and you're a nice guy, but we're allowed to be as cranky as we want. We're not in charge of those things. You at home can be as cranky as you want. If you take issue with that, if you take issue with anything, you can go ahead and hashtag #TalkToWFTDA while you're at it. I think there's going to be a little chit-chat about that down below, perhaps, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just like seeing players that do fantastic moves get rewarded. It was likely after the call of that whistle and the play was dead. Layla, what else you got?
I have so many things. I still want to reflect upon the fantastic combo pass that is available. It is, again, just to clarify, you will get to take 10% off a pass that will allow you to watch all of the 2016 international playoffs as well as championship games from the comfort of your home or your friend's home if your friend has a bigger TV than you. Cut the check. $67.50 with the discount that is only available through the weekend. $67.50 US dollars, that is. Looks like we're getting back to it. Liquor and Split wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice.
And AP Leisure is also out there. Liquor and Split comes in very hot and hits the back of that pack. Hannah Jennings opens up the inside line. That is textbook offense. She's your lead jammer.
We should really start making our rent checks out to Hannah Jennings because I think that she is the landlord of the line.
Finally, AP Ledger does make it through. Liquor and Split has come back in. Nice offense being played. They picked up all those white shirts and moved them all around, and that is 4 easy points being picked up by Liquor and Split.
We say easy because we're up here barely baking
yes.
the spread. She makes it look easy. My goodness.
And in case you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, it is about 95 degrees here in the sunny Portland, Oregon. And even though the sun is down, it is still hot as a dog up here on the mezzanine. And right now down the line, you're going to see Lauren Much and Guypen.
If only you could see the sun setting from our view. Hope you can see it when you come to town for the International Championships weekend.
Lauren Much engaged at the back of that white pack, and she is pushing very hard. 2 players up the beat. She takes the outside line down in front. Wilhelm is trying to fight through and takes that inside line, and she is now free. Lauren Much has worked her way around. She comes in very, very hot, pounds in, and gets taken out in turn number 1. Calls off that jam after picking up, I believe, all 4 of her points. Yes, she did, and that was fantastic work.
Amazing display of speed control by Lauren Much there, as well as patience checking in with Coach, seeing what the call should be. We also want to check in with our sponsor, Car2Go. Meet the future of car sharing. Sign up today at car2go.com. Back to the track, we have Frisky Biscuits wearing star for Wheels of Justice up against Klein for the Mile High Club.
Klein right now taking a long little step all the way back there, about 10 feet. Frisky Biscuits does jump up and hits the back of the Denver wall and is continuing just to push her will forward. Watson Seribo having to set that bridge down, and Frisky Biscuits pushing a little too hard, picks up a back block.
Quigley, Jennings, Rivas, Chestnuts, Klein, condolences.
Yep, and here comes Klein. Oh, Watson Seribo picks up a direction of play, trying to play a little bit of offense. Jessica Chestnuts taking out Klein in the top of the apex viciously, and that's going to make her have to start again.
I felt that from up here, my goodness.
Klein now back in. Here comes that hit again. Here comes the offense, and she is still stuck behind all that purple. Wheels of Justice doing a fantastic job recycling and getting back together. And Klein is now through as lead jammer.
Klein is out. We have less than a minute left in this jam with Frisky Biscuits back on the track.
Frisky Biscuits getting taken down in turn number 3. Klein made her way through, already picking up a few points. 5 points, actually, that is scored on the board. Another blocker for Denver being sent to the penalty box. Make that 2. And this jam comes to an end. We are now at halftime. We got a score of 165-84 unless somebody changes something, and I see them signaling for an official review. So before I go anywhere with Layla Smackdown, we're going to hang out for just a minute and find out what's going on down at the track. Layla, what do you suspect they're going to want to talk about out there?
Oh my goodness! I mean, it could be anything.
Well,
what do you think? What do you think was questionable about that last jam?
Well, we're sending our man in command down to the floor, and there are 2 blockers from Denver right now in the penalty box. I suspect it might have to do with one of those calls.
I'm going to let you go out on that limb.
Yeah, no.
You don't even need to leave like a jelly bean trail behind you. You will safely return from that limb. We're going to check in with Paul, who's on the floor, very shortly, and see what the...
All right, so there's that.
Well, some clarification for the clarification would be clearly welcome.
Yep.
But, you know, there's going to be a little bit of time for everyone to cool their heels, make some discussions. We'll see what's up. Now is a great time to go ahead and log on to WFTDA.com and check out all of the amazing opportunities. You could start planning your travel for the 2016 International WFTDA Playoffs. Division 2 starts next week. I mean, between next week through November is going to be some of the best roller derby you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Each season keeps getting better and better. New tricks, new ways of exploiting the rules, new amazing stars. Exploiting. I mean, that's the whole idea of rules, is that you want to kind of learn them inside and out. Isn't that what Pop Warner did? Look at me dropping some football, right?
Yeah, there
that's
you go.
footballs, right?
Well, the evolution of this game has really, I mean, if you look at it from what it was 10 years ago to what it is now, I think they've cleaned up the game and made it a lot more of a sport. I love what it's become. And I mean, remember minor penalties? Remember when they wore belts and fishnets?
Well, you know, some would say belts were for more than just style. But you're absolutely right. I mean,
Layla's protecting her belts now.
Not to take away from the athleticism that it was on display 10 years ago.
No.
But it definitely was 10 years ago more about the spectacle. You know, you had to kind of get the meat in the seats, teach people about why this was on the verge of a tipping point. And that's really what we've seen since then. You know, you give the people what the people want, you teach them the rules, and then they kind of grow, dare I say, evolve along with us.
You know, I think they went through their teenage years, and now we've become a mature adult league. And it's a beautiful thing.
We were pimply. We had our voices cracked. Our prayers at our bar mitzvahs were just like croaking frogs, and now we're operatic, dare I say.
Now you have gone, the wheels done fall off, people at home. You're watching a Blaze stream of media and at WFTDA.com. So we're going to throw it down to the floor. Well, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm the King. I'm joined with Layla Smackdown.
So happy to be here.
You're watching on Blaze Streaming Media on the WFTDA TV. So, Layla, what's the story of the first half?
Well, the first half we ended. We're going to see the next half start with a Wheels of Justice blocker advantage. If memory serves, it's going to be 4-2 blockers on the track. The scoreboard has us at Wheels of Justice 165 points to the Denver Mile High Club 83 points. Now, really interesting information that we received coming off the penalty board as we lead in. We had Mile High Club getting 17 penalty minutes in that first half versus the Wheels of Justice 14. You know, with this level of point discrepancy, you would really think that there would be a huge discrepancy as far as the penalty infractions committed would be, but that has not been the case. I mean, for either team to have greater success moving out of the second half, tightening up the reins, really cleaning things up. We started to see that happen more effectively by the Wheels of Justice, ending that first half. Thrills, chills, and spills abound. I don't know about you, but watching those newest WFTDA commercials promoting the 2016 International Playoffs and Championships, they bring a tear to the eye. I'm not even being dramatic right now. They're actually, it's so exciting to see how far we've come. So exciting to see where we are in this season. This is, again, the eve of the playoff season. We're going to be starting the second half with Lauren Munch donning the star for the Wheels of Justice. Up against Wilhelm for the Mile High Club.
And it's an exciting night as we're about to blow 5. Wheels of Justice out there with all 4 of their blockers. Here comes Lauren Munch, and she easily gets through with a little bit of help from Braun Swanson.
A little bit of help from Braun Swanson is a lot of help for a jammer. That is the luxury of having the blocker advantage.
Lauren Munch up around the outside, makes it look easy, picking up a 5-point grand slam.
Tarantula, Nisbet Smith, Gaither, and Braun Swanson doing their best to prevent that star pass, but Barrett did receive it successfully.
And that was excellent work. Oh, she tried to get back in, and she does not get the call on the track. They wave her back on.
That infraction was brought on by great footwork by Wilhelm.
Yep. Now Lauren Munch takes the inside line. Braun Swanson opens up a hole and makes it easy for her to pick up another 5 points. In the back, Barrett now has a star, but she is up against the back of Gaither and the rest of those purple shirts, and they are holding her back there. Wheels of Justice doing a great job moving outside to in and back again. Lauren Munch now comes back in and ends up on the deck as a lot of shirts are in her way from both teams. Barrett up front finally manages to get away through and picks up 4 points.
Mile High Club really trying to help their jammer when she's in the pack, but underestimating Lauren Munch's footwork and then not turning their attention quickly enough to defense. That's why you kind of see the focus on defense right now. Barrett
having a hard time back there, and she is still struggling to get through. Wilhelm taking out the jammer, runs her all the way back to the pivot line, and she's got to start again. Barrett now has to also come back in, and she is just trying to get to the pivot line as the Wheels of Justice wall is really doing a great job holding her down. Up front, Lauren Munch finally works her way through and picks up 5 more points.
Wilhelm really exerting herself as just as effective a blocker on the track as jammer for the Mile High Club.
Lauren Munch makes her way through and could get stopped by all 4 of the blockers. Barrett right now going outside, going back to the in, going back to the out, and gets pushed out by Alicia Nesbitt Smith. This jam comes to an end. 2 points being picked up for Denver. 6 points being picked up by Denver in that jam. 29 points being picked up by the Wheels of Justice.
Nesbitt Smith, Gaither, and Tarantula are having a lot of success together on the track this evening. Tarantula, a newer member to the Wheels of Justice this season. You wouldn't necessarily know it from the impact Tarantula is having on the track. Going back into this next jam, we have Scald Eagle wearing the star for Wheels of Justice. Going to be taking off against Klein, but it does look like we have an official...
They want to chat about something real quick. You were talking about Tarantula. She came here from Philadelphia this year, and we've seen her a couple times in the last few years. It came to the Big O, and we've witnessed Tarantula's prowess. I remember her getting MVP in the games that we saw, and she really is a one-lady wrecking crew out on the track. You watch her go into a middle of a defensive line playing offense, and she will just churn it up and makes it so easy for those jammers to get through.
Well, and it's really awesome. I like to think of the Wheels of Justice has kind of become a modern-day roller derby melting pot of abilities. We're welcoming so many new transplants to Portland in general. I'd rather see them on the track than clogging the highways, personally. But I mean, with the newer welcomes to the team being, Tarantula, Quigley bringing a lot of expertise from Denver. Of course, we had Revis join the team last season.
Oh yeah,
really huge opportunities. And if you want to see all that the Derbyverse has to store for yourself through the duration of the 2016 season, then you totally want to take advantage of the combo pass that is only going to be discounted available through the weekend, really. So you're going to want to visit WFTDA.tv to go ahead and pick up that combo pass at a discount. The discount code is ROAD2CHAMPS. That is number 2 champs. Since we love brevity, well, maybe the WFTDA does. Clearly, it's something you and I struggle with. We also want to hashtag talk2, number 2, WFTDA. If you've got some noise to leak, but you don't have the convenience of a microphone, that's a great way to do so.
You know, you're going to see, well, down on the track, it looks like they got stuff to talk about. Oh, he got interrupted by a ref. You know, the playoffs are coming up, like you said. I'm going to be in Lansing, Michigan in a couple weeks. I am. You're going to be in Vancouver in a couple weeks.
I am indeed.
You know, and so if you are in any of those towns, stop by and say hi. I'm the King. That's Layla Smackdown. We're good folks, and down on the track, we are going to pass it to him.
All the boxes, making sure everyone was going the same way and seeing the same stop.
All right.
I like that.
It was pretty general. You know, that's one of those, sometimes the officials need to stop, make sure that all the penalties are actually called and assessed, make sure the points are on the board before they continue.
Cross the T's, dot the lowercase J's, back to the action. Scald Eagle for purple, Klein for Mile High Club.
Yep, and Scald Eagle, takes a big hit in turn number 1, ends up coming right back in and is still going. She's taking people out saying, get out of my way, I am the jammer.
Denver really crushing it this season and reminding all of us that star passes are effective. Oh my goodness, a little bit of a breakdancing maneuver by Susie Powell.
But that was a low block call, and that's actually a good call. You can shrug your shoulders and say, oh, well, you know.
No, that was a very challenging call to make, but a good one. I mean, I think that Scald Eagle had so much height on that jump. Didn't even see Susie Powell sweeping the leg out from under her in that apex. Beautiful, beautiful hit.
So right now, Klein out there all by herself, star in her hand, but she does manage to get on through to the other side.
I'm noticing a kind of calm on the Mile High Club blockers. Everyone's checking with Akers. Akers brings so much experience to the track and really just checking to see, what do you want us to do? It's a little bit less of a frenzy than we saw them in the first half.
Scald Eagle served her time. She comes right back in, gets hit, and goes to the inside line. She now goes back to the outside. She's still just trying to force her way through. With those big, long legs, she's got a lot of leverage. She bends down and pushes, and she can a lot of times get through. She does a nice spin, gets to the outside, gets her legs in front, and that's how she stays in and upright, as she gets in front and keeps her legs there, and you cannot touch her. She does a nice hit and glide, does pick up the 5 points, as she does, I guess, land it.
I'm going to call that a little bit of payback. Took the 30 seconds to think about what Susie Powell had done in that infraction. Decided to make up 10 points.
She tried again, but that time it didn't work. Both her toe stops did come in out of bounds. She smiles and looks at the refs and goes, yeah, I know. This time we got a star pass.
We do have a star pass. Hannah Jennings taking some issue with that. Referees not agreeing. No worries. Jam comes to an end. We did see 13 points put up by the Wheels of Justice versus 2 in that jam against the Denver Mile High Club. While we are at it, I would like to give special thanks and gratitude to, of course, Blaze Streaming Media. Tonight's live broadcast is brought to you by Blaze Streaming Media. Thank you, Blaze. Couldn't do it without you. So grateful for PDX Pipeline, your online source for Portland's music, arts, and events happenings. Back to it. We have Liquor and Split on the track, facing off against Guypen for Denver.
Guypen right now is taking the entire Wheels of Justice line and escorting them all the way to the pivot line. There is a penalty. It looks like a back block being picked up on Liquor and Split, and that is going to give a power jam up that will benefit Denver.
Absolutely. Great opportunity for Denver to try and change some of the momentum as we have 24 minutes of gameplay back on the clock.
Guypen getting taken out. She's going to have to go back a little ways, and there's that wall that followed her right back and reformed as soon as she came back in play. Guypen right now finds an inside hole that closed very quickly, and she's now stuck going the wrong way on the track.
Great communication by Gaither. Gaither absorbed Guypen to the back, really well communicated to her fellow blockers. Yo, I got her, come back and stand tall with me. Very effective.
Tarantula doing a great job, one-on-one defense, managed to hold on long enough for her company to come up and help her out. They took her out of bounds in turn number 2. Sarah Gaither, I was going to say Nacho Lucky Day. Sarah Gaither gets the cap. She ends up taking off. She doesn't score any points on that pass. 5 points being picked up by Guypen.
You know, I think one of the reasons the Wheels of Justice are having such successful defense, despite some penalty issues earlier on, like I mentioned, they're doing a really great job of anticipating when the offense is trying to compromise their walls, sort of warding them out without really creating any kind of flaws in the structure. Also, whereas individually they all are great as, you know, defensive men, they're really turning their attention to kind of reforming. We are going to see both jammers off to the start. We have Frisky Biscuits for the Wheels of Justice up against Curtis for Mile High Club.
Yep, Curtis right now behind all 4 of those blockers from the Wheels of Justice, and she is going nowhere really fast. Up front, Frisky Biscuits does a nice little turn around the blockers of the Mile High Club, and she's your lead jammer.
Curtis has removed the star, looking to pass it off, realizing there ain't no one to pass it to, and picking up a track cut in the process. Power jam for Frisky Biscuits.
That's too bad, but Frisky Biscuits now, she's got the power jam. She's got one blocker left to beat. That blocker is Akers. And yes, she did. She picked up that back block.
Wow.
Well, it looks like Akers also picked up a penalty. Interesting, and both players do go to the penalty box.
We're going to chalk that up to curious and move right along.
Yep.
Great offense coming from Davidson, very well timed. But again, those really strong walls of purple, you're going to have to do better to make a dent against Chestnut and Rivas.
Frisky Biscuits served their time, and I don't know if Denver, well, they haven't really picked it up. Finally, someone puts a body on her, but she's already passed almost all of the blockers and is still trying to fight up that inside line. Curtis is still stuck in the back behind Rivas. It's a one-man wrecking crew back there. Now her crew joins her, and she is now knocked out of bounds out on the outside line. Up front, Frisky Biscuit still trying to fight through the top of that apex between 3 and 4. Finally gets a blocker to her knees and takes off. Curtis, though, full head of steam, and she has overtaken her.
Picked up a point for lapping Frisky Biscuits there. Frisky Biscuits had to fight so hard, I didn't think it even occurred to her to look behind her and realize the jammer was hot on her heels.
That's a great move she does. She comes in and she does that little turn on that inside line, bouncing off the blockers of the opposing players, but they're starting to figure it out. They take her out of bounds, and she's got to start again. Barrett got the cap, and she is taken off. No points scored on that pass for the Denver, but Barrett is back around very quick. Hannah Jennings knocked her out of bounds, and still stuck in the pack is Frisky Biscuits. This jam does come to an end. And Layla, what's going on?
There's lots of stuff going on. Great attempts by Quigley to play a little bit of hand grenade offense on that one, but alas, the jam is called dead. We would like to thank Kelly Brown, because guess what? Kelly Brown loves roller derby, and we surely love Kelly Brown. Also, special thanks to Buffalo Gap Saloon and Eatery, John's Landing's favorite eatery and saloon. When you come to visit Portland in November, you will have to check that out for yourself. But first...
Actually, I ate there before I came here.
Lucky you.
I'm not even joking. It's right down the street from where I was, and so I was like, Buffalo Gap? Heck yeah.
Why not?
It's
and you
happy
can even,
hour.
You can flash... my friend, it is always happy hour when you're around, though. It's also happy hour. Sometimes, all the time. Again, we bring the happy to the hour. Special thanks to Nightlight Lounge, Rose City Rollers' favorite Clinton Street bar, and the only place to get Rose City Rollers tickets in town. We're also so grateful, some of us more than others, to Black Hat Plumbing. Black Hat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company, and a proud part of the Rose City Rollers since way back in the dawn of 2009. What? It was a very good year.
Well, the crowd goes wild. Right now we got a score of 216 with 20 minutes left in the game. 97 for Denver, 216 for the Wheels of Justice. I think they've done all the chatting they want to do. We are going to see... let me see. That is Lauren Much out there on the line, and that is going to be AP Leisure. AP Leisure bouncing all around that inside line. She really wants to go there, and they aren't going anywhere. Lauren Much, though, jukes goings right out of her skates and is off.
Much Mayhem has some of the best pickup speed in this sport as far as I'm concerned. She goes from a standstill, stepping side to side, and then just shoots right out of there like a 22.
And right now, Lauren Much has made her way around. She's up front. It's S.H. Long. I believe that's her 6th penalty, is now headed to the penalty box, and Lauren Much picks up 5 points.
just cruising right around with an eye on where the jammer is behind, trusting blockers Alicia Nisbet-Smith and Braun Swanson.
There is Braun Swanson and Alicia Nisbet-Smith. Alicia Nisbet-Smith is called for a penalty. Braun Swanson is all by herself, and that's an easy 4 points for AP Leisure. Here comes the work from Braun Swanson. Lauren Much does get out, and Braun Swanson's all by herself, but the whistle does blow before AP Leisure can get around and make magic happen. Layla's all excited. What's going on?
I just want to tell you something. Braun Swanson in real life does fantastic construction work. But when you want walls demolished on the track, you can also trust Braun Swanson for that. Building sturdy walls and breaking them down as well.
Construction and deconstruction.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Really, I mean, if you want someone that can do it all, then look to Braun Swanson. If you want someone that can do it all while jamming, look to Scald Eagle.
Wilhelm. Wilhelm was out first. And a forearm was picked up by Scald Eagle. So not only is there is one blocker out there for the Wheels of Justice, and Scald Eagle just picked up a forearm.
That attempted jammer on jammer defense kind of backfired. I got a little excited for a second, but
Wilhelm picking up speed, does a nice little glide to the outside. Tarantula could not do anything but move that way and hope for the best.
Well, with that much speed coming up, it kind of is really more important to maybe be with your fellow blockers. I don't know, otherwise just scrambling. Great job by Chestnut and Tarantula working together to really just kind of punish Wilhelm.
Well, they're right now trying to break up those blockers. It looks like Alicia Nisbet-Smith has been taken out in turn number 1. She's just going to wait and let her blockers, trust her blockers to do the work, and they are doing just that. Wilhelm right now up against Braun Swanson, who is the last line of defense, who actually killed about another 5 to 10 seconds on the track.
That was a really valiant attempt at an inside line jump, not even an apex jump. Getting a little love tap from Alicia Nisbet-Smith saying, don't worry, Squeakies, go back and do it again.
Yep, Wilhelm comes in very, very hot, take a nice hit, shrugs it off like it wasn't even there, picks up 4 points, and Scald Eagle comes out, and she just starts swinging as she came and continues to go, picking up, or getting out of the pack. Wilhelm glides around the outside. Chestnuts could only try to hit her. She calls it off as she goes and picks up more points. That was 14 points put on the board by Denver. Takes them to now they always try to prove me as a liar every time I say the score. You know that? So 17 points put on the board. That's going to be 118 to 225. Wheels of Justice still in the lead. 17 minutes left.
Now, I am no stats master. That is for dang sure, but I do think that is the biggest jam put up by the Mile High Club so far. Well fought, well earned. Starting off, this next jam is going to be Liquor and Split for the Wheels of Justice up against Klein for Mile High.
That was really interesting defense. They came in, they kind of busted everything out. Wheels of Justice naturally got out first. Klein is out second, and this jam continues. Liquor and Split does an apex jump, calls it up on the deck. Did she land it? Are they going to give her the points?
Yes,
they
indeed.
gave her the points.
The suspense. Darth Bling knows what that he is doing when it comes to throwing up that hand to 4. Mile High Club coaches taking some issue with it. Out on the track to schmooze about it. Have not called a timeout. Just kind of looking for some clarification. Confirmed 4 points. Special thanks to Echo Construction. The friendly people at Echo Construction love custom home building remodels and roller derby, as well as Frisky Biscuits wearing the star for Wheels of Justice up against Guypen.
With Frisky Biscuits getting hit in the deck, and now there's only 2 blockers out there. She's got 1 blocker left to beat, makes it through. Frisky Biscuits is your lead jammer.
We have Guypen just emerging out of turn 1. Remove the star, holding on to it just for posterity. Maybe she'll put it on. I don't know. We're going to have to see.
Frisky Biscuits got 1 player left to beat. They both end up on the deck in turn number. Whoa! And Guypen comes in very, very fast at that apex and skips right across the top of that apex.
That was such a well-landed apex jump. I mean, came in with such force. A lot of times you kind of see them teetering on their toe stops. No, that was a forceful landing.
Guypen is back around. She now is having to contend with all 4 of those blockers from the Wheels of Justice. Braun Swanson letting everybody know that she's going to be going someplace. And is that a low block he's calling on Frisky Biscuits, and that's going to give up another power jam, and it will benefit Denver.
Yes, indeed it will. And like I said, after that last jam, we've seen maybe a slight momentum shift. Guypen likes the sound of that. How about another grand slam with only 2 Wheels of Justice blockers on track? Yeah, it's Alicia Nisbet-Smith. Yeah, it's Braun Swanson. But Guypen coming with a lot of speed, getting some huge offense, taking that outside line.
Well, right now you got a pack advantage. Denver's got 3 blockers out there, 2 blockers for the Wheels of Justice. It's Braun Swanson and Alicia Nisbet-Smith, and here comes the offense, and they are moving right along with it. Excellent, excellent offense. You could not have choreographed that better by Denver.
Davidson is just a powerhouse of offense. Very patient, very strategic, very practical.
Guypen comes in very, very hot, hits Braun Swanson. Braun Swanson takes her out. Alicia Nisbet-Smith runs back, but she was in front of Alicia Nisbet-Smith and gets a full 5 points.
All those purple blockers sprung from the penalty box just around about the same time, doing a great job to just open the door for Frisky Biscuits.
Oh, and Akers comes in, hits Alicia Nisbet-Smith in the back, opens up the hole, but you know what? She got 4 more points put on the board. That is a 28-point jam for Denver. Right now it is 237 to 146. Denver is trailing, but they are making some really good plays late in this game.
Now, Portland, Oregon, right here, right now at the Hangar to Oaks Park is the place to be for the best roller derby action of the evening. If you live in Montreal, Quebec, Columbia, South Carolina, Vancouver, British Columbia, or Madison, Wisconsin, you will be in for it in your fair share of time too, seeing Division I playoffs. But next up on the line, we have Lauren Much for the Wheels of Justice and Curtis for the Mile High Club.
Lauren Much is up against both of those, the back of the wall of the Mile High Club, trying to force her way through, and in the back, Curtis is up against the Wheels of Justice, having the same problem. They're almost mirroring each other as jammers trying to fight and find a way to get past them. Jessica Chestnuts comes in very strongly, opens up a hole, moves some blockers around. Lauren Much is your lead jammer.
Huge offense from Jessica Chestnuts, and then quickly turning attention back to defense, holding down the fort on that inside line. Just as Much returns.
Lauren Much is very quick. She's all the way back around, top of the apex. She's trying to fight her way through. One player locked left to beat, and Curtis makes small work of it.
That last player to beat was none other than Envy Adams, also a fairly new transplant to the Rose City from Santa Cruz.
Lauren Much managed to find her way through. Right behind her is Curtis, though. Curtis is benefiting more points at this. Well, actually, they're 4-4. I thought she might have got that bonus point. But 2 blockers out there for the Wheels of Justice, as another 2 have hit that penalty box.
Big hit on that outside, just catching a little piece of Lauren Much.
Lauren Much comes in. She wants to go around the outside. Quigley tries to move some players around. And here comes Curtis. They had to try and catch back up, but Curtis caught him almost surprised and gets back around, picking up another 5 points.
Might have been a little surprised to see Lauren Much not really making too much of an effort to score any points in that and just kind of trying to help with defense, but we really kind of saw falling apart of the defense at that last round, if I might go out on that limb and say so. We're going to get right back to it soon enough, but first we would like to thank Piranha Portland, clothing for people who live fully, play long, and travel well. You can wear your Piranha gear to any of the upcoming 2016 International Playoffs or Championships. Thank you, WFTDA. Also thanks to Secret Aardvark. Viva la Aardvark.
Viva la Aardvark.
It is delicious. You put it on everything. I put it on everything.
Man.
Everything edible. Anything else that might be a little bit too hot, dare I say. Mom, if you're at home watching, I'm sorry. I am sorry in advance for all of it.
Oh, man.
But if I know one thing, it's that Mama SmackDown does love a discount. So she is definitely going to be going to WFTDA.tv to pick up her combo pass to watch all of the playoffs and final international championships games at a low discounted price. So be sure to visit the website to check out more. You can also be chatting it up with us at #Talk2WFTDA.com. We're getting ready to get back into it. It's going to be Scald Eagle wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice.
And that's going to be AP Leisure, I believe, who is hiding behind all of those players out there that we cannot see.
Ducking down so tiny. Yes, it indeed is.
And she makes it past Braun Swanson, making it look easy. AP Leisure is your lead jammer.
Amazing job by Braun Swanson closing the door on some of the biggest blockers for the Mile High Club, allowing Scald Eagle to just jump right on through.
Well, she glides right up along that inside line, calls it off as she's going down, picks up, I believe it is the 3 points she does pick up. and holds the Wheels of Justice scoreless.
Again, I really want to give a lot of credit to Braun Swanson on that pass. Holding that inside line, closing the door isn't just so necessary to prevent the jammers from creeping up on side, but to also protect your own jammer's course. Davidson as well as Akers were trying to annihilate Scald Eagle, and Braun Swanson said, not my sister. I don't think so. Liquor and Split wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice, playing a little bit of defense against Wilhelm for the Mile High Club.
Wilhelm comes out. She hits the back, and Angle is up front trying to get some offense going. Oh, and she came up that inside line and stepped out of bounds.
Chestnuts and then Quigley setting very important picks for Liquor and Split. Lead and power jam right now.
Everybody is waiting for Liquor and Split to make her way back around. She does come back in and hits that pack. Here comes the offense. Hannah Jennings, who is so effective at playing that offense, does come in and tries to open up a hole. Denver, who is so effective at getting back together, does do it, but Liquor and Split does a fantastic move on the outside and makes her way around.
Jennings did a great job of trying to isolate Watson Cirbo, both for her goading and also realizing that she is such an important blocker on that track. But Denver did do a great job of staying patient and regrouping.
Wow, that time she came in and the offense was already in play. She ran up that inside line and made it look so easy. Liquor and Split does come back in. She calls it off. She's like, I got my points, and I'm not going to lose any points on this one, because Grandma King always said, you never rub another man's rhubarb. Layla, what do you got?
Well, I don't have any accosted rhubarb, that's for dang sure. What I do have is endless appreciation for the Laurelhurst Theater and Pub, the best of modern cinema, independent art, and classic film for Portland's movie lovers. I'm also super grateful for Shebop, a female-friendly sex toy boutique in Portland, Oregon. Thank you, Shebop. Back to it. We have Lauren Much wearing the star for the Wheels of Justice up against Klein for Denver.
Well, Braun Swanson once again in the middle of that pack trying to open up some kind of hole. Klein getting a hit and taken out of bounds, way out of bounds, by Sarah Gaither. Up front, Lauren Much is still trying to fight around the Mile High Club wall. They are digging down and getting deep, and she is not going anywhere. Excellent play by Akers, but she could not capitalize on it. I think she got tripped up, and Klein stepped out of bounds in turn number one. Up front, Lauren Much has one player left to beat. She is still getting hit, and there is a penalty call, and a cut track is called on Lauren Much, and they're giving up another power jam.
I have to say, great, again, attention by Braun Swanson. At first, just kind of maintaining pack distance, then quickly turning attention back to defense. Now it's going to be all defense all the time for the Wheels of Justice to break some of the momentum we've seen by the Mile High Club.
Yep, and here comes Klein. She took off the cap and is now trying to fight her way through. She is in a power jam and is capless, so they're going to go the full 2 minutes in this game, in this jam.
I think the Wheels of Justice blockers were really just trying so hard to prevent a star pass they were so convinced was going to happen. They kind of let Klein slip out from their grasps.
Right now, Wheels of Justice up front, and they are ready. They get hit, and here comes the offense that Garten just tried to play and open it up, but Klein got taken out. She now tries the outside. Still no luck. Lauren Much comes in like a bolt of lightning, and she is back out of that pack.
That is called damage control. That was a power jam burn by the Wheels of Justice blockers.
Lauren Much comes right back in, and she is right back where she was before she picked up that penalty. She is stuck behind that white wall and is barely creeping along. Klein is also stuck behind their purple wall, and here comes Tarantula. Tarantula is back in the middle of that pack, and watch her. She will just churn like she's washing a load of laundry in there, moving everybody around. Lauren Much did get through, picked up all 5 of the points, but all 5 of the points were also picked up by Denver.
Hard-fought jam that went 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Well, when you get this far into a game, every point is then hard-fought. Fatigue, the heat, everything else. It starts playing against you. What do you got, Layla?
The weight of the work week heavy on your shoulders. It's so true. Well, I want to thank Sakatumi. Sakatumi, unleash your inner superhero at sakatumi.com. Facing off on the line, couple superheroes themselves. Scald Eagle for Wheels of Justice up against Guypin for Denver.
I liked what Guypin was doing. She basically was watching Eagle and was making pace with her, so if she did get past, she would try and engage and stop her. Penalty picked up by Scald Eagle, who was cut the track there. She will serve a penalty, and Guypen is in a power jam.
Great strategy. When Guypen spread her wings right there, that's a wingspan that might rival Scald Eagle. So amazing, really, really important jammer for the Mile High Club all season.
Guypen doing a great job. She's moving that entire pack around. Here comes the offense, and they are also helping move all of that pack around. But excellent recycling. They are all back up in front. Quigley pushes out Guypen, and she's got to go back and start again.
Good patience exerted by the blockers on Denver Mile High, checking in with each other, seeing how much time is on the clock for that jammer penalty and focusing their attentions more to defense. Unfortunately, not seeing it all the way through. Scald Eagle is out.
Oh, Scald Eagle picks up another cut track. I don't think she can believe it. And matter of fact, everybody's kind of looking around and saying, like, where did that just come from? Yeah.
Shaggy?
Wiggity, what? Okay, 5 more points being picked up on the track by Denver. Sorry, guys, everybody at home watching on Blaze Streaming Media and WFTDA. Every great once in a while, I like to make Layla Smackdown laugh.
It doesn't take much, again, especially with the humidity and temperature at this moment. If you are impressed by the physical prowess that you are watching from the convenience of your couch, we need to definitely say a special thanks to CrossFit Magnus, the official fitness partner of the Wheels of Justice. That is CrossFit Magnus. We are also grateful, the hungry bellies are grateful for 808. 808, food's so good, it straight broke the mouth. Sorry. I say them like they're written.
I always forget about that read, and it always makes me laugh.
Well, now it's my turn to make you laugh.
Thank you, Layla Smackdown.
Thank you so much. Also, special thanks to the Portland Mercury, Portland Vital Signs, City Graphics, and Case Bar.
And we're going to throw it down to the floor.
So the officials, they're going to take a look at that last jammer cut, and we'll be right on back with the decision.
That's what I figured they were going to be looking at, Layla Smackdown. That cut was pretty quick, and I missed it, you missed it, they missed it, but the officials saw it. And I'm not saying they didn't make the wrong call by any far stretch of the imagination, but it was very quick, and so yeah, it's a good thing to question.
Absolutely, and you know what though? I have to give so much credit to the officials. Not only could we really, maybe we could try and do this without them. It would be a hot old mess. The caliber of the officiating has really just blown me away the last few seasons. There is just nothing left to chance. Everyone is so patient and dialed in. They're also willing to admit when they have made mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a lot to admit when you're wrong.
All right, we're going to throw it back down.
Here we go. That cut track call will stand.
All right. Well, once again, I got to hand it to the officials. They, just like you said, they've been fantastic over the years. They have only gotten better, and the quality of the skating is matched with this quality of the officiating. On the line, Layla, who do we got?
That's an excellent question. Looks to me like Curtis wearing the star for the Mile High Club, going unopposed.
She is all by herself out there in a power jam, and the offense is coming. And finally, she gets through, and she got through behind the jammer line. The entire pack kept moving back.
Incredible offense. We have some huge hitters for the Wheels of Justice, and they were completely separated before, just as they are in this pass. Curtis just picking up a grand slam 5 points.
Sarah Gaither tries to stop her, but only got brushed off by the great offense. Here comes Curtis. Curtis comes in very, very hot, and this time they've got a wall set for her. Hannah Jennings comes in, and after serving her penalty, Scald Eagle follows her through. Did you see her zigzag through that pack, Layla Smackdown?
Only off of a whip from the back of Jennings' jersey. Backwards crossovers, my goodness.
I watched them practice that offense, and it still amazes me when I see it. I still am shocked when I see that zigzag through the pack, and you just kind of ricochet off of people enough to get your jammer through. And your jammer is like following the fullback with a running back behind in the pack. Sorry, I'm so excited. I'm stammering.
That was a sports ball reference.
I know.
I appreciate. No, but it was amazing. And that was just textbook. I can't wait to watch that over again, backwards and in slow motion. Next up on the line, Liquor and Split going to try and recreate some of that magic we just saw up against AP Leisure for the Mile High Club.
AP Leisure getting taken out back. Just Rivas picking up a penalty and is going to leave the track. Liquor and Split, last line of defense, and she did catch her on that outside line. Envy Adams now caught her, and she is still stuck in that pack, benefiting the Wheels of Justice by using their jammer defensively. Liquor and Split still up front on the line in turn number 2 and just stuck behind all those white shirts. And she's just trying to fight her way through and ends up on the deck. Quigley now picking up a penalty, and she is headed to the penalty box. 2 blockers out there, and that makes it easy for AP Ledger to run up the inside line and is lead jammer.
Huge amount of patience exerted by AP Ledger, just slowly whittling down that wall, sending all the purple blockers to the box.
Jess Rivas, that was a great play. She caught her, pushed her to the inside line, and all the other Wheels of Justice players were waiting for her as she emerged. Very tight pack. Looks like Jessica Chestnuts is picking up a penalty. That is going to put another 2 blockers out there only for the Wheels of Justice to try and slow things down. Liquor and Split still stuck in that wall. Had to find her because she was so deep in that pack. There is a star pass, and Quigley's got it.
Angel trying to throw some offense in the way of AP Leisure. Did not even see Quigley eking by with that star on the helmet. Special thanks to Starlight Knitting Society. Your neighborhood knit shop. Join the Starlight community every Wednesday night. Thank you, Starlight Knitting Society. Also special thanks to Radar Wheels, S1 Helmets, Bont, WSLL Leadership Coaching. All proud sponsors of the Wheels of Justice. WSL Leadership Coaching, official secret weapon of the Wheels of Justice. Also thanks to Left Turn Clothing, Wheels of Justice. Looking good. Fashion meeting function. Thank you very much, Left Turn Clothing. My goodness, we have just a little bit over 3 minutes of gameplay left here. Thank you for your patience with us at home. We're so grateful that you are here tuning into this really exciting game. I mean, we've seen a great narrowing of the lead coming out of that first half. Wheels of Justice had more than 100 points over Denver, and Denver's really worked hard. I mean, Wheels of Justice have seen some penalty issues, maybe even more in this second half than in the first half. Denver's definitely figured out how to capitalize on those power jams.
Right, and you know, there's 3 minutes left in this game. There's only 68 points that separate these teams. Denver is doing a great job in this second half putting points on the board. They're staying on the track, and penalties, just like you said, are racking up against Rose City. They keep leaving 2 blockers out there, and it makes it really easy to score when you've got points sitting in a penalty box. Lauren Much on the line. She jumps off and instantly starts pounding that line, ends up falling on Akers, and Wilhelm is out as lead jammer.
Much is not far behind. Davidson chasing out behind, but then turning attention back to the action coming out of the pivot.
Wow, Wilhelm came in incredibly hot, pounded the back of that wall, and then jumped to the inside line, picked up all 4 of her points and called it off.
It's just like you were saying, really kind of maintaining the integrity on the track, keeping all the blockers on the pack, and then just picking up a handful of points where you can, not letting the chippiness get the better of you and whittle down your own set of blockers. This is a really great showing by Denver as we're coming into the dying moments of this bout.
254, 190, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on this game. You're going to see, I believe that is Klein and Scald Eagle. Scald Eagle comes in very hot, tries to jump up that inside line, but they ain't having it. Klein up front, and she is pushing against that wall. Engel trying to get a little bit of offense going, and unfortunately is not able to pick anybody off quite yet. A penalty being picked up by Scald Eagle, and she is headed to the penalty box.
You know, I think that jam got off to a start a little bit earlier than either one of those jammers expected. Scald looked a little bit frazzled. Klein was almost at a little bit of a rolling start, kind of looked like it took herself by surprise, but it worked really effectively, charging full steam ahead through that fierce wall of purple blockers.
Well, here comes the offense, and they picked off one of the blockers, but they're still not able to get Klein through. Once again, the Wheels of Justice walls doing a fantastic job of recycling, get back up front. Now they're bridging out, and they're maintaining and holding that jammer. That is a penalty kill if you've ever seen one.
I'm seeing one right before my very eyes. Amazing performance by Hannah Jennings on the track right there. Davidson's been trying to be a bee in her bonnet, and she is just swanning her away like a nuisance.
Well, I think Scald Eagle surprised the Mile High Club, and she just glided right up along the outside like taking a leisurely skate down Springwater Trail.
Little last second love tap from Rivas is preventing a star pass. Klein recycled all the way to the back.
Scald Eagle up front right now. She gets pushed out on top of the apex, runs right back in and is out. Klein has the cap off. She is trying to do a pass. Barrett got a hold of it. She did not. Yep, she did. I was going to say she did not get out and pass fast enough, but she managed to do a nice little move and eke her way out.
Just a little spin around Chestnuts, but Scald Eagle is already out for another 4 points put up for the Wheels of Justice.
Barrett, who has benefited from the star pass, gets pushed out of bounds in turn number 2. And the toe stops of Scald Eagle helping her glide up that inside line for 5 points.
I have become a huge fan of Barrett through the course of this game. Amazing threat both as a blocker on the track, neutralizing some of the bigger hits of the Wheels of Justice, protecting her jammer when she can, and also always in great positioning to receive that star pass. Really, really amazing player for the Mile High Club. Can't wait to see what she's going to help bring to her team as they arrive in beautiful Columbia, South Carolina, where they will be facing off against a number of admirable opponents. That Division I playoffs is going to take place September 9th weekend. Hopefully you will go on to WFTDA.tv website and go ahead and secure your best seat in the house is in your living room. And the money you're going to save getting a combo pass, you can put towards your plane ticket to arrive in beautiful Portland, Oregon, where the Rose City Rollers get to play host to the 2016 International WFTDH Championships. They will be fighting their hardest to hold on to that Hydra. Come to Portland, see how beautiful the Hydra is for itself. It was designed and fabricated and built in Portland, Oregon, and we are not looking to send it away anytime soon. Okay.
Now that you sold that, they are going to talk a little bit more out on the track. I'm sure they're talking about points and penalties. They want to make sure everything is good out there. There is going to be a slight pack advantage. Wheels of Justice have all 4 of their blockers out there. There is 23 seconds left in this game. We've got a score of 270-191. Wheels of Justice had 16 points in that last jam, but that's the first time they had a ratio of not being behind Denver in I don't know how many jams.
That's a really good point. Another huge self-assist off the back of a jersey by Liquor and Split, shooting out in front. Lead jammer, Wheels of Justice.
Yep, and that's what she needed. She's going to play a little bit of defense and basically let this jam come to its natural conclusion. Curtis right now cannot figure out how to get past her. Liquor is looking at the scoreboard, just waiting.
Let's not forget how fierce a blocker Liquor and Split is. I would not want to be on the backside of her. We have an unofficial final score of 270 Wheels of Justice to 191 Denver Mile High Club. We're going to await the final tabulations to make sure that is in fact the final score. Oh my goodness.
Well, I think this was a great game for Denver going into the playoffs. Yes, they lost, but that's not the story of the game. They scored 191 points against the Wheels of Justice. Had they played the way they did in the second half in the first half, I don't think this would be the same game.
I could not agree more with you. Also, reflecting back on the game they played against Wheels of Justice earlier in the season, this was less of a point differential.
Yeah,
they've been doing their work, they've been doing their homework, and you know what? There's still a nice set of few weeks between now and when they're going to face off again in competitive gameplay in Columbia, South Carolina.
I agree. You know, last time they faced Wheels of Justice, they came out very hot. They played like 20 minutes and they were ahead. There was lead changes back and forth. It was very exciting, and it's like I felt like they came out with all that excitement, and then Wheels of Justice reset, and then next thing you know, that's where they pulled ahead. This game was a little bit different. Wheels of Justice came out very, very strong, and they played a solid game all the way through. Denver picked up momentum as they went through the game. So I think they've got a little bit of work that they need to do. They need to watch some of the tapes. They need to capitalize on what they did in the second half. And when they meet in South Carolina, I expect to see some sparks fly.
If they meet in South Carolina.
I'm sorry.
Because there will be some games leading up beforehand to find out.
Course.
We don't want to throw any other teams under the bus because everyone are busting their booties to bring their A-plus games to both the Division II and the Division I 2016 International WFTDA playoffs. Man, oh man, I certainly hope to see some of you there face-to-face. Wherever you go, if you're just tuning in from home, we're going to be throwing it back down. It is a final score of 270 Wheels of Justice to the Denver Mile High Club, 191.
Can I go to the floor?
All right, so we're going to throw it down to the floor. They're going to give you your MVPs of the game. Layla Smackdown, it has been an absolute joy calling this bout with you on this sweltering evening.
I would I'd love to do it again sometime.
I can't wait. The playoffs are coming, and we are going to have our chance all weekend long. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm
right,
the
I
King,
think we're
and I'm
dying
with
to
Layla.
know.
Thank you very much.